blessed with faith, family, and football. Calhoun head football coach and athletic director Hal Lamb.
I'll let Jim speak. He did such a good job. I was going to tell a little bit about myself, but I don't have to now. The only thing you do need to know about me, like you said, is that I'm a devoted Christian, and I love Jesus, and that's not ever going to change. And, today I want to talk to you a little bit about what I believe in. There's the number one thing that I try to teach our players, our staff, is about the word character. I want our football players to have strong character. Now, do they all have strong character? No. But the majority of them, I think they do, and that's what we as a staff try to do. Now, what is character? Well, there's several definitions of character. The best one to me is it's real simple. The real you. It's not hiding at any time, or what are you going to do when the coach isn't looking in the weight room? You guys on these teams heard all this. Are you going to cheat on your reps in the weight room? Can this team trust you? Can this staff trust you? And that's what, I've been at Calhoun. This is my 15th year. And in 1999, we went 2-8. And I know people were thinking, what in the world have we gotten into? But I'm going to tell some stories with that in just a few minutes. But today I'm going to talk about the 6 pillars of character that we try to teach to our football players. The first one is boldness, having the confidence to say or do what is right. The ability to face anybody or any situation fearlessly. A perfect example of that is, I'd only been a head coach 2 years before Calhoun hired me. And the 2 years I was a head coach at Calhoun High School, we won 5 games. So why would Calhoun hire me as a head football coach? And a lot of you know it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I had the privilege of working for the superintendent that was at Calhoun High School at Cartersville High School as an assistant. And he had enough faith in me to hire me, even though we had 5 wins in 2 years at Calhoun High School. But in 1999, we were 2-8. I had some guys on that team that really, most of them bought in, but there wasn't enough that bought in what we were doing. In the year 2000, we had gotten better. We were 3-3, going to play Cartersville High School. And if you heard Jim, Cartersville High School was where I was an assistant coach for 8 years. And we were 3-3. Cartersville was ranked number 1 in the state. And I had the opportunity to be the head coach of Cartersville High School back before I was the head coach at Upson Lee. And just didn't feel like I was ready. I was young, just didn't feel like I was ready to be a head coach. And so there's a little bit there that I wanted to win that game very badly. But I knew we weren't good enough to beat them. But we went down to Cartersville. They were ranked number 1 in the state. And you coaches and players know if you turn the ball over, you're probably going to get beat. Well, Cartersville turned the ball over 6 times. We turned it over 0. And we were able to upset Cartersville. And I think that gave our kids some confidence. And I think that game kind of set us on the map as far as Calhoun High School. Each pillar that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to tie it in with a Bible verse. The Bible is full of bold men and women. And in Proverbs 28:1, the wicked man flees, though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. As Christians, we can be bold because of our faith in Christ. We ask our players to have faith in one another. We ask our players to have faith in the coaching staff. Faith is a big word in our locker room. They're all Christians. I don't know, but I'm I'm going to do my best to try to get them going in the right direction. The second pillar I'm going to talk about is loyalty. To me, there's not a bigger word in coaching than loyalty. You know, everybody, all the coaches, you know, we have what we call a hideaway that the coaching staff, you know, the Calhoun High School will go off for about 3 days to get ready for the football season. And the last thing I tell them, and you know, I know there's a lot of great coaches in this room, and you know, hopefully they believe the same that I do. But you know, when you get a bunch of coaches in a room and you're not all on the same page, you know, you're gonna have one's got to believe on a certain play, you're gonna have another one that's got to believe on another play. Don't want to do this, we should be doing that. And there may be some arguments in the room, but when you leave that room, if you're not loyal to one another or loyal to me, then we got problems. And you know, and it goes back to the fans. You know, down here in the South, you know, there's not a Georgia Tech fan that's going to pull for Georgia. There's not a Georgia fan going to pull for Georgia Tech, I promise you. Same thing with Auburn and Alabama. And by the way, the Auburn Alabama game, the kid that kicked that field goal that got returned for a touchdown, we coached him. So it was a real trying time for him. But there's Alabama, Auburn, they're not going to pull, you know, ever who's playing Alabama, that's who Auburn's pulling for, and vice versa. The Bible has a lot to say about loyalty as well. Proverbs 3 and 4, never let go of loyalty and faithfulness. Tie them around your neck, write them on your heart. If you do this, both God and people will be pleased with you. We asked our players to be very loyal. And I had a thought with this year's football team. You know, I didn't feel the chemistry was right with our football team this year. And these coaches know that the chemistry has to be right to get to this level. And, you know, I had a team motto. Our team motto this year was ENAM, I-N-A-M, which stands for It's Not About Me. And I did that for a reason, because I just didn't feel good about some of the kids on our football team. And it came to light. You know, we went 11-2 and got beat in quarterfinals. We turned it over 6 times and got a tail beat. But you know, I just didn't like the chemistry of our football team this year, and that's the reason we didn't go to the championship game. But this is a great statement. Lack of loyalty is one of the major causes of failure in every walk of life. We also tell our players if all their teammates were to jump off a bridge, don't follow them. Be at the bottom to catch them. That's what loyalty is. The third pillar, responsibility. Galatians 6:5, for each one will bear his own load. Do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be on time. You know, one of my pet peeves, and the coaches and players know this, is I cannot stand for people to be late. You know, I got my watch set 10 minutes early, so I won't be late. And the players know that. They call it Lamb time. You know, all these coaches, you know, our schedule is on the 2nd. They don't need to look at their watch, they need to look at my watch. I try to set the time for those guys. We also talk to our players about being responsible for their own actions. And teenagers are going to mess up. You can go ahead and get ready for that. They're going to mess up some point in their career. If they'll just learn from it, you know, learn, don't do it again, take the punishment and deal with it, move on and learn from it, they'll be successful. The next pillar is caring. Kids will play hard for the coaches that care. That's a fact. Sometimes in coaching it's called tough love. You know, one of the hardest things for coaches to do, myself, is to have a kid sitting in front of you and tell him that the decision I'm about to make with you is not the best decision for you, but it's the best decision for this football team. That is the hardest thing to do as a coach. And, to sit there and tell that kid or a parent that I'm not doing this, I'm doing this for the better of the team. And that's very hard, but that's caring about the team and caring about that person. You know, you heard the story about my dad, you know, being a long-time coach. And, you know what, people ask me all the time, what did I learn from my dad? Well, it's not the 3.5 to 4 hour practices that, you know, I had to go through. It's not the times that I would come home, shut the door to my bedroom and tell my mom to bring food to the bedroom because I knew what it was going to be like when my dad got home. But the thing I learned most from him, is he cared about his players and he knew how to treat people. When I was a junior in high school, we were fortunate enough to win the state championship. And I was a wide receiver, my brother was a quarterback, and my dad was a coach. That don't happen very often. And the next year, when my brother graduated and went on to play at Furman University, we didn't have a quarterback. So guess who had to go to quarterback? Well, I wasn't near the quarterback that my brother was, and it was trying times at my household, I guess you'd say. You know, we were ranked 8-3, but you know that wasn't good enough in my high school. And, but the thing that I did learn from my dad is he cared about people. The Bible verse that relates to caring, John 13:34-35. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, all men will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. The next pillar is respect. Vince Lombardi. Football is like life. It requires perseverance, self-denial, hard work, sacrifice, dedication, and respect for authority. Respect is a two-way street. You got to expect your players to respect you, but you also got to respect your players. How do you show respect for a player? Be positive. Don't embarrass or insult your players. Be trusting, be fair, be polite, be reliable, be caring. We talk to our players all the time about yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. To me, that's very, very important. And we have kids that mess up in the classroom, and I'll bring kids in and talk to them about caring about the teacher, respecting the teacher. Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Take your punishment. You're not going to win against education. You're not going to win this battle. So just whether you feel it's right or wrong, just say yes, sir, or no, sir, or yes, ma'am, or no, ma'am. Bible verse, 1 Peter 2:17. Show proper respect to everyone. Love the brotherhood of believers. Fear God. Honor the king. And the last one is patience. One of my favorite quotes, and this is the quote that I left with the student body as we left to go play in the state championship game in 2011, which we were able to win. Love never fails, character never quits, and with patience and persistence, dreams do come true. And I got a quick story about patience. We have played for the state championship 6 out of the last 9 years. We're 1 for 6 in state championship games, which is not good. 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, we played the exact same team. Beaufort High School right up in Gwinnett County. A lot of you in here know about it. 2008, we could not have won. They were that much better than we were. 2009, we got beat 13-10. Felt like we should have won. 2010, we got beat 31-24 in overtime. So we're going to play them for the fourth year in a row. And they supposedly have the best team they've had, 10, 11 Division I players on the team. But I knew that our chemistry was right with this football team. I thought we had a very good chance of winning as long as we did what we were supposed to do. Well, with 2 minutes to go in the game, we're up 24-10. I had taken my headsets off, started to celebrate. We picked off a pass to seal the game. They called it roughing the passer penalty on us. The next play, they throw a 30-yard pass for a touchdown. 24-17. They onside kick, we get the ball. They got 3 timeouts left. Of course, we're not going to throw it. We're going to run the ball, punt, and play defense because they're not a passing team. Well, we did that. We run 3 plays. We punt, get a bad snap on the punt. They hit the punter, ball goes straight up in the air. A guy from Buford on the dead run takes it for a touchdown, 24-24. We go into overtime. And at this point, it's, I'm saying, oh, we've blown it again. And the Lord looked after us. The very first play in overtime in Georgia, they put it on the 15, and each team gets a chance to score. Very first play, they run a toss sweep for about probably 8 yards. And we had a kid put his hat on the ball came loose, we were able to recover. So it's our ball. And I talked to a couple of assistant coaches. We got the best kicker in the country. I said, Coach, I think we'll line up and kick it right here. Ball's on 15, so it'll be a 32-yard field goal, and that's what we did. He kicked it right through the uprights, and we were fortunate enough to win the state championship. But the patience that we had to endeavor in those 4 years, that was true patience. In the Bible verse, Romans 12:12, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Our team experienced all parts of this Bible verse. We had hoped for 4 straight years to bring a state championship back to our community, which had not experienced a championship since 1952. We waited patiently in our affliction of 3 straight losses, and you better believe we were on our knees in that last overtime. But those pillars of character are big in my life. I try to implement them in our football program. I've been very, very blessed in my life. Of course, accepting Jesus Christ as my Savior is number 1. I've been a father of 2 great boys who I had the pleasure of coaching. I've been a part of 3 state championships, 1 as a player, 1 as an assistant coach, and 1 as a head coach. I'm married to a wonderful lady of 27 years old. And I asked her one time, why doesn't women play football? She quickly informed me it was because 11 women would never wear the same outfit in public, which is about the truth. And the clothes, guys, I know I've been up here too long, but players, I want to leave you with this. You got a tremendous opportunity Saturday afternoon. I wish you the best of luck. Unfortunately, there's only going to be 1 winner. And win or lose, you need to enjoy the moment. Because you know as well as I know it's hard to get back here. And enjoy the moment and do it with class and character. Good luck to both of you. Thanks.